Good evening, everyone, and welcome to InACAC's Virtual College Exploration. My name is Mackenzie Ewald. I am a volunteer for InACAC and helping facilitate this session today. Make sure that you are signing up for more sessions. We have a lot of wonderful institutions that are ready to tell you all about themselves. So check out our schedule at InACAC's website, which is listed here on the screen. This session is being recorded along with all of the others. So if you can't make it to one of the schools you're really interested in, check within the next couple of weeks on our website and you'll be able to see the presentations there. Your cameras and microphones are turned off for this presentation, so we cannot see or hear you. However, our panelists would love to answer any questions and communicate with you. So feel free to ask your questions through that Q&A button. They may not have a chance to get to all of them today, and that's okay. They will get a transcript with your contact information and your questions within the next week or so, and they will be able to reach out to you at that point in time. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists.
Okay, thank you very much, and we're very happy to be here this evening and this afternoon and share some information about VMI. I am Colonel Vern Beitzel. I'm the Director of Admissions at VMI, and along with us today we have Associate Director of Admissions, Colonel Neil Whitmore, one of our alumni who lives in Indiana, Colonel Dave Sutherland, VMI class of 73, and two cadets, Cadet Parker Davis and Cadet Ali Sassaman. And so I'm going to begin our program today with a little bit of an overview about VMI. And to get us going here, as this slide says, VMI is not ordinary. It's a very unique and different type of college. And applicants to VMI are generally looking for something different, a little bit out of the ordinary. They're looking for a challenge. And VMI certainly does present that. VMI is a state-supported school, but we have representation from almost 40 states, Indiana being one of them, and we're very glad to have a number of Indiana students that are part of the Corps of Cadets. VMI is the oldest state-supported military college in the nation. It is one of 6 schools in the country that are designated as senior military colleges. The others include Norwich, the Citadel, Texas A&M, the University of North Georgia, and Virginia Tech. But VMI, even among these senior military colleges, is unique in that we are the only one of those schools that has no graduate students. We're totally undergraduate, nor do we have any civilians. These other colleges have some civilians as a part of the total institution, but at VMI, everyone who is a cadet, never has been a cadet at VMI, is just that. We have no civilians. Our cadets live in a very structured military environment 24 hours a day. All cadets at VMI must complete 4 years of ROTC, but commissioning is optional. We also have a very active NCAA Division I program, and we are one of the 3 smallest colleges in the country to be playing at that level. First and foremost, VMI is a college. We have, as I mentioned before, no graduate programs, and we only have 14 undergraduate majors to choose from, although we do have a number of minors and concentrations. VMI believes that academic excellence is best maintained at a small college where the number of disciplines offering degrees is restricted. What's, I think, very important about VMI is the faculty. The faculty is hired because of their ability and their desire to teach at the undergraduate level. They conduct a lot of research, they do a lot of writing, but their primary focus is the teaching of students at the undergraduate level. And I think that should be very important to you. With a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio, that allows for really small classes and provides a very personalized introduction. Virtually all of the faculty have a PhD, and they get to know their students on a very personal basis. And maybe Ali and Parker will be able to comment on that a little bit later. They get to know the students individually, and they also, the faculty take an active role in the non-academic aspects of, the non-academic areas of cadet life. And they also serve as academic advisors. I think you'll find our faculty always to be very approachable. And if you have a question about a specific major, I would encourage you to actually contact the academic department head. I think you'll find them to be very responsive. In addition to the majors, there's a wide range of academic enrichment programs that you can get involved with, including the honors program, undergraduate research, where oftentimes cadets work hand in hand in research activities with faculty, study abroad programs, which can include a full semester or breaks or during the summer. So as I said, it's first and foremost a college. But all cadets do take 4 years of ROTC, and we have all of the services represented, and a student can choose from whichever of the ROTC branches they want. VMI has made its mark in the military. We are the only one of the senior military colleges to graduate the highest ranking 4-star generals across 3 services. We've had 2 of our graduates that have served as commandants of the Marine Corps. We've had an Army Chief of Staff and an Air Force Chief of Staff. And currently, the Secretary of the Army is a VMI ROTC graduate. And across the Department of Defense programs, VMI generally commissions more officers than any college in the country. One of the things that we think is kind of unique and different about the opportunity and the commissioning at VMI is that you have the opportunity to become familiar with the culture of all of the different services. You may select Army as your choice, but your roommate, teammate, friends could be in the Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force. And so you really do get a taste of the cultures of the different services. And that can come in handy when you go on active duty and serve. We encourage commissioning, but more importantly, we encourage service at VMI. Commissioning is optional. Right now, about 65% of each graduating class choose the commissioning route. But it's our hope that 100% of our graduates will serve society, either in the military or through other opportunities. As I said before, VMI is one of the smallest colleges in the country to be playing Division I athletics. This slide shows the NCAA sports that are available. Teams are comprised of not only scholarship athletes, but a lot of walk-ons. So VMI really provides an opportunity for many students to play college athletics at the Division I level that they wouldn't have that opportunity to do at other places. Just as many cadets at VMI also participate in club sports in addition to the NCAA athletics. And the club sports run the gamut from rugby to volleyball, to softball, to powerlifting, everything you can possibly think of. And the thing that's important about this compared to what other colleges might provide in the area of club sports, VMI finances all of these. You as a cadet would not have to come up with any money for travel, food, all of that's covered by VMI, the expenses for uniforms, equipment, and all of that. So it's a very active club sport program as well. Applying to VMI is like applying to a civilian school as opposed to pursuing an appointment to a service academy, a federal service academy, which many of the students who are interested in VMI are also considering. We do have an early decision deadline of 15 November, but it's binding. So do not apply as an early decision applicant unless you are absolutely sure that VMI is your first choice of college. For students that get all their information to us by the 15th of November, we will guarantee some type of initial notification no later than the 15th of December. If you're not offered an appointment, at that point, you're considered along with the other applications who apply to us under the regular decision program. That deadline is February 1st, but we're on rolling admission, so we encourage you to apply early. The earlier you complete the application, the earlier you're going to receive an initial decision from us. Another thing that's very important is that some of our majors fill up pretty quickly. And so you don't want to be in a situation as a late applicant where you're forced to accept your second major choice rather than your first. We will defer many applicants in terms of decision until the March timeframe. We usually have a waiting list. And the thing that I also want to mention about the deadline dates up here is those are the dates by which your application should be complete and not the date by which you should begin the application. The information or the items needed for a completed application would be not an SAT or ACT. We are going test optional for this current application cycle. So the needed application forms include the application itself, the $40 application fee, which can be waived for individuals. We usually use the NACAC, College Board, or ACT application fee waiver forms. Of course, official transcripts. One letter of recommendation is required, and that usually is from someone from the high school. Could be a counselor, teacher, coach. If you want to submit other letters of recommendation, that's great. We really like letters of recommendation from alumni. That helps us a lot. There's also an optional personal statement that you don't have to complete, but we strongly encourage you to take a few minutes and write to us a personal statement to accompany the other formal information that's required of the applicant. We're looking for strong academic students, of course, and most of the students are in that category. They're very strong academically. But we factor in a lot of other things. We're looking for a well-rounded student. We are looking for things like self-discipline. We're looking for evidence of motivation, for strength of character, and for students who are interested in the type of education that VMI provides, including service and commissioning. We're fortunate in that we are among the highest ranked public colleges in the country for endowment per student. So this allows us to award substantial financial assistance to cadets at VMI. And sometimes it's in the form of need-based aid, merit-based aid, which we'll talk a little bit more about, athletic scholarships. And as you can see on this slide, almost 30% of the cadets at VMI either come through the door with a four-year ROTC scholarship, or they pick up an ROTC scholarship once they're there. And for those students that want a commission, this certainly does provide a great financial incentive and support. VMI, as I said, is unique. And we think it's important that prospective cadets are very aware of a lot of different aspects of VMI. And one of the best ways to get that information is through interviews, either in person or virtual with a member of our staff. It's an information exchange where you can talk a little bit about yourself and provide some insight into your academic and personal background. And it gives us a chance to get to know you a little bit better and measure your candidacy for admission. We have open house programs that are on post. We hope in the spring we're going to go back to overnight programs, but that remains to be seen. So what you can do is keep an eye out on our website and see if we are able to have some springtime overnight or day-long open house programs. But you can register for both an interview or for the open house programs online. Our staff wants to get to know you, and we hope you'll take advantage of this. This is our contact information, and we are always available to answer any questions that you have. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Colonel Whitmore and Colonel Sutherland, and they're going to talk a little bit about a specific scholarship that's available from VMI to students from Indiana. So I'll turn it over to them.
Good afternoon. I'm Neil Whitmore from the Office of Admissions. As Colonel Beitzel was mentioning, VMI does have a large endowment, which gives us many unique and special financial opportunities for cadets and applicants really all over the country. And VMI has a unique scholarship opportunity for applicants from the state of Indiana. And it is termed the Sansbury Scholarship, and it was created at VMI in 1996 to provide merit funding for young men and women from the state of Indiana to attend VMI. The scholarship honors James Sansbury, a member of the VMI class of 1916. Mr. Sansbury had an interesting career. After graduating from VMI, he served in the Army during World War I, and then obtained a second bachelor's degree from MIT in 1920. He worked on the original Soldiers Field football stadium project in Chicago, which was completed in 1929. And then he went on and was involved in the Suspension Bridge project in the harbor of Sydney, Australia, which was very unique at the time. And he helped develop some advanced construction and rivet technology for that project, which was very interesting. In later years, Mr. Sansbury returned to reside in Anderson, Indiana, and he and his wife were a big part of the community there where he practiced law, and his wife was a longtime elementary school teacher. And both Mr. and Mrs. Sansbury were committed to education and providing opportunities for young people in their home state of Indiana, which led them to endow the Sansbury Scholarship at Mr. Sansbury's alma mater. Over its 24-year history, the Sansbury Scholarship has provided over $1.3 million in scholarship assistance to VMI cadets, specifically from the state of Indiana. The scholarship selection process, which is done each year on each new class coming in, looks at the applicant's academic and extracurricular merit throughout their high school career. This includes such things as if they've taken AP courses, IB courses, dual enrollment, the strength of their schedule, and then ultimately their GPA and how they've performed, as well as participation in athletics and extracurricular activities and clubs, both in their school and then outside their school involvement. So we want to see someone that is well-rounded and been involved in many things and likes to take on challenges, and then has an interest in VMI, perhaps an interest in commissioning, but someone that is willing to step up and challenge themselves from a leadership standpoint and a personal development standpoint. Now, many VMI applicants will also pursue an ROTC scholarship. So we have many applicants from a number of states, of course, coming in on ROTC scholarships, and then specifically from Indiana, we have those that are on ROTC scholarships and the Sansbury money. So you can combine both there with that. And the scholarships are awarded in various amounts depending on how competitive the application or the applicant is. And it is strictly merit-based. It is not looking at need at that point. But there again, we want to see a competitive candidate, generally someone that in a normal year without COVID being present has come and visit VMI, attended an open house. We realize right now that is an obstacle. So we're always open for Zoom interviews, phone calls, other types of things, or some limited physical visits to post. But we want to meet you, get to know you a little bit, hear about your goals and what you're looking for in a college. And the application session or time window for that is the same as the VMI application, meaning from August 1 until February 1 for the application, for the scholarship, and for VMI. And then we will make awards and notify everyone of their scholarship award by April 1. So you will see on our website, you will see under our merit scholarships, the Sainsbury link where you can apply there. There are a number of ways you can send it to us. If you want to print it off and mail it in, that's fine. If you want to upload it to Box, that is fine as well. Or scan an email. And it does not have to come in with your VMI application. It can come in separately, and we will attach it and put it together there. Same with letters of recommendation from maybe high school counselors, coaches, other mentors, maybe even an employer. Those can all come in as well, and we will attach them to your application. So one of the special things at VMI, of course, given our small size, given the esprit de corps that we have in our student body, is our alumni. And so around the country, we have many special alumni that are very involved in their community and in their home state. And so tonight we're fortunate to have with us Colonel Retired Dave Sutherland, VMI class of 1973, a longtime resident of Indiana, who is going to give a few remarks as well. And it's someone that as an Indiana student and resident, you may want to reach out to, and you will see him on our website as well. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Colonel Sutherland and welcome him.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Greetings, fellow Hoosiers. It's good to talk with you. I went to VMI as a Hoosier. I did 4 years of VMI and then did my Army commitment, went to law school at Indiana University after going to VMI. And I just thought I'd share some thoughts and some experiences. Regarding the Sainsbury Scholarship, I want to piggyback on what Neil just said. I did talk with the parents of one of our applicants several years ago, and that parent's son had gone to the Institute on a Navy ROTC scholarship, and he had also received some funds under the Sainsbury Scholarship. And the father was so pleased to talk to me about it because it meant that a school that the family may not have been able to afford was a school that the son could go to, that he really wished to attend, and he was able to attend VMI for all 4 years. So it worked out wonderfully for him. So I'd say to you Hoosiers, if VMI is among the schools you're strongly considering, please do your Army your ROTC scholarships, whatever service it is now, but also do your Sainsbury Scholarship application as well. And Colonel Whitmore gave you information on that scholarship, but it's a great scholarship that you can use to piggyback on top of an Army or ROTC scholarship as well. I would share with you some thoughts on VMI, and one of the things I do appreciate about the Institute was it provided a great undergraduate education. The teachers are excellent, as Colonel Beitzel said. The classrooms are generally small. Your first year, you'll have usually larger classes, but by the time you're there, as you're in your third or fourth year at VMI, the classrooms will be much smaller. Your professors will know you. If you go to class and you're not prepared, your professors will know it. The trouble is being an attorney, my apologies. But your professors will know it. If you're not prepared for class, they know. It's the sort of thing, though, that your professors will know you well, and you will have a good relationship with your professors at VMI. As far as graduation afterwards, one of the things I would say too is I served in the Army. I did a few years active duty, then I went to law school, and I stayed in the reserves after law school. I did not plan to stay as long as I did, but from VMI, my experience was that VMI is never a handicap to you serving in the U.S. Armed Forces. If you go to the Marine Corps Museum at Quantico, Virginia, you'll see a statue of the nation's most decorated Marine. That Marine attended VMI. And you will find VMI leaders in all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. When I was in Korea, I went over there for over a 25-year period. I would find folks from VMI when I was there first time as a lieutenant, then as a colonel years later on. I would find VMI folks all over. My last years there, working in 8th Army headquarters, was 8th U.S. Army headquarters. I would serve with a number of folks, and I noticed the school that was predominant was West Point. Of course, that's the U.S. Army's Professional Military Academy. But for the other schools, VMI had the second largest number of graduates serving there in Korea in 8th U.S. Army headquarters at that time. So you will find VMI folks, if you continue on in the service, no matter what your armed force that you serve in, you'll find VMI folks around the world wherever you will go. VMI is a tough school to be at. I will not discount that for you. You will find the rat line that first year very challenging. It's set up to be that way. It really depends upon your drive and your desire to compete and to just see it through. It's going to be an uncomfortable experience for almost all new cadets. It's not exceedingly hard, but you do have to have a tough mental attitude to make it through it. And I would say it's a great place to be from, but it's a tough school to be at. At VMI too, when you are there, you are going to be living in a VMI, which is really a museum. When you are at the Institute, you have rooms where one of my brother rats, a classmate, we call our fellow classmates brother rats at VMI. One of my brother rats shared with me years ago, he said, you know, David, we were privileged to go to VMI. We were there with heroes. And he was right. Not only do I know folks who are really, you would consider American heroes, but I was taught by some of them as well. I remember Colonel Bites when I were there at VMI at the same time. And our boxing coach received the Silver Star with the Valor Device for service on Iwo Jima. The superintendent of our era was wounded and served at the Battle of Guadalcanal, where he commanded a battalion of Marines. He was wounded at Saipan. But you will meet a lot of marvelous people at the Institute. The Salisbury Scholarship, one of the brother rats of the Salisbury Scholarship was a colonel named Bev Reed, who was World War I era soldier. The football track around VMI's football stadium is named for him. So you will find history at VMI. It's in the bricks of the Institute, and it's there itself. When I was a rat, a new cadet, I remember standing for inspection of the barracks and looking across the old courtyard. I would see a room that was shared for 1 year for 1 year period by Stonewall Jackson, and his roommate was a man named William Gillum. He was a major at VMI, was then the commandant. William Gillum was from Vincennes, Indiana. He and Jackson gone to West Point, and they batched together that year as VMI officers living in the barracks. So there were rooms where George Marshall lives, where George Patton lives. It's a living museum. So it's an amazing place to be at. And one thing, just to share with you a final thought on the Institute that does come to my mind, it makes for some unusual people. I was at VMI 50 years ago as a cadet. But there are people who went to VMI my age who run marathons. Last year, I thought I did a really good thing. I hiked the Grand Canyon from one side down into the canyon, spent a few nights there and hiked up back on the other side. And I thought I'd accomplished quite a bit. When I got up out of the canyon and gone to my lodging, I had worn a VMI shirt that last day hiking out of the canyon. I was approached by a gentleman 10 years older than me. He also had attended VMI, and he talked to me and he said he was going to make that same hike beginning the next day. So I'm amazed by the folks, if you're blessed with fairly good health, the vigor and determination of the folks from the Institute is just absolutely amazing. And I would say it's not an ordinary college by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not set up to be, but it's a heck of a place to be from. And you'll never have to apologize to anybody for having gone to VMI. That's what I had to share with you, and I wish you all the best of luck in your college choice. If I can provide you any information on VMI, or I know in these COVID times, meeting together is very challenging, but an outdoor environment at your school, or if you're not going to school, passing some information on to you and your parents, I'd be glad to share that. So in any way I can to help you during these challenging times, please know that I'll be glad to do my best. My contact information, you'll find it at VMI, like Colonel Whitmore said. I'm practicing attorney here in Indiana. And also, if you visit the Roll of Attorneys maintained by the Indiana Supreme Court, you'll find my name and contact information there as well. Just put my name in David Sutherland. And I'm from Brownsburg, Indiana, is where I live now. So just type in David Sutherland, Brownsburg, and all my contact information will appear there. I would be glad to meet with you and your parents, or you and your guidance counselor, as the COVID-19 protocols allow. So please know I'll stand by to assist you in any way I can and providing you information so you can make an informed decision. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Sutherland. One of the things we like to do throughout the application process is get you as an applicant, as a young man or woman looking at VMI, in contact with our cadets. And so tonight we have 2 cadets currently in the Corps who are going to share some of their experiences with you and reach out in that way. So I'm going to turn it over to Parker Davis, a current senior or first class cadet, as we call them at VMI, for some remarks.
Thank you, Colonel Whitmore. So I am Parker Davis. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm an international studies and political science major. I was former NCAA lacrosse, involved in a multitude of clubs to include Cadet Investment Group, Model UN, Leadership and Ethics Team, Leadership Book Club, as well as the S5 staff, which I'm the cadet captain of. And you have all these leadership opportunities at VMI, and that's just something that you don't get at a normal college. And even talking to some of my friends at the service academies that they don't even get, and they get for a very minute amount of time. And once you get to VMI, it's rough. It's really hard that first year, that rat line year, and even after that, there's things you have to push through. There's things that you're having a bad day, and you just kind of lean on each other. And through that shared suffering of the rat line, you become really close with all these random people that you come together, and you don't know any names. You get thrown into random rooms with random people, and these people become your closest friends that you have for the rest of your life. This summer, I got the opportunity. A couple buddies got a house together for the summer just to hang out and spend our last summer together. I remember there was one morning, like, couldn't sleep, and I went and woke my roommate up at 5 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, let's go hiking." And at 5 o'clock in the morning, we got up and we hiked a mountain because we were bored, and that's what we do. And VMI people, they just have this urge to always be busy, always to do something. It's always with each other too, which is really interesting. Another thing that I've learned at VMI is you got to get really good at failing. And everybody says, like, oh, you got to be successful. You got to be successful. Now, you just got to get really good at failing. You have to learn how to accept failure. And VMI teaches you that every day. When you're a rat, you're going to mess up on something. You have to learn to how to get better. And that's something that you can take out in the real world. So somebody who goes out in normal college and they used to getting perfect grades, having a perfect day all the time, and they mess up one thing at work, they're not going to know how to react. Whereas you've dealt with adversity, and you can take that, whether you're military, whether you're going civilian side, you can use it however you want to in life. And it's just something that you can take going forward. So after this, I'm going to turn it over to one of my sergeants, Allie Sassman.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Sassman. I'm the VMI class of 2022, so I'm a psych classman here at VMI. I'm an international studies major and a national security minor. I'll be commissioning in the United States Marine Corps upon graduating from VMI. I played rugby for a semester, I did theater for a semester, and then, as Parker mentioned, I'm a sergeant for the S5 public relations staff at VMI. My biggest thing that I like about VMI is probably that you're able to interact with a bunch of leaders. Colonel Beitzel mentioned this earlier, but you get to interact with people who are commissioning in all of the branches, which is something different because that's what you'll experience out in the fleet. So I really like that about VMI. I was drawn to the Marine Corps department about how small it was and how successful they are at producing high quality officers, which has been mentioned numerous times in this conversation. Next, I would say that yes, it's challenging at VMI, especially your first year, but that's how you become a better leader and you grow as a person, which is one of the aspects of VMI that is so highly sought after here. So they put you in these uncomfortable situations so you can rise to the challenge and grow as a person, because if you're comfortable all the time, you want to be able to grow or like challenge yourself or get to know yourself or your individuals that are your brother rats around you. I would say too, I like to tell perspectives that VMI admissions wouldn't accept you or offer you an appointment if they didn't think you were capable of doing it. I'd say a lot of people, they worry that when they are on the rat line that they should go home because you just have those self-doubts and like thoughts, because it is tough. And just know that the people before you have done it multiple times, all the cadets that you see around every single day. And once again, admissions wouldn't allow you into VMI if they thought you were going to fail. That's all I really have to say.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Some questions that we want to pose. First of all, probably for the cadets, can you talk a little bit about the impact or what it's like to live under the VMI honor system?
Yeah, so I'll start this one. I'll let Allie kind of talk about her experience. So the honor code is very simple, but it is very, very strict. You learn it within the first couple minutes that you're at VMI. You'll scream it at the top of your lungs till you can't talk anymore. It's cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, nor tolerate those that do. So those are 4 simple rules that you have to live by. But it's very complex, and you get in a groove, and it becomes a lifestyle rather than just a code you have to follow. You continue doing it as you go home, and it becomes something that is just easy. You just get into the flow of it, and it's just something you keep doing on a day in, day out basis just because it's what you're used to. So with my experience, it's nice because I can leave my wallet in my room. My door's unlocked right now. I have my credit card, my debit card, and about 40 bucks in my wallet, and I know nobody's going to touch it. I know it's going to be in the same place. I'll leave my computer right here when I go to eat dinner, and I won't come back to it till about 7 o'clock, and I know it's fine. So it's very comforting being around people that you know are going to tell the truth. You know they're not going to try and take advantage of you and steal from you. And it also is just kind of comforting to know that you're doing the right thing at all the times.
Okay, thank you. Another question for the cadets. Did either of you apply to any of the federal academies? And if you did, can you make some comparisons between VMI and the other federal academies?
Al, did you apply? I did.
I did.
So I'll let you start off on this one, and I'll come after you since I took the last one.
Okay, so I applied to the United States Naval Academy. I went through all my interviews, got a congressional nomination. I was like pretty set on going there for the most part until I visited a VMI open house. I met the people here, and I loved them. Like, they were so much more friendly. The alumni network, I met a bunch of alumni in my first visit, and the parents were amazing. I saw this huge parent support system starting at my very first open house. The other thing that I liked about VMI is it is a lot smaller and close knit. I realized that when I was visiting the Naval Academy for a candidate visit weekend, that you could ask somebody about one of their classmates or somebody that you knew that went to the academy, and they had no clue who they were. But if you asked a VMI cadet about somebody, they could pretty much give you an autobiography on the person. So it was pretty awesome. And then I liked that compared to the service academies, you do have that interaction with all of the different service branches. And that also promotes you an opportunity to like outbranch if you don't like the ROTC that you signed up for initially during the application process.
So I applied to the Coast Guard Academy and the Naval Academy, and the thing that I found when applying to those two, it was interesting when I applied because it was a big ordeal to go get the congressional nominations and all that, and then you'd reach out to alumni and other people that like go there and stuff, and be like, oh, okay, cool, you're applying here, and that would be it. They'd be like, oh, well, that's it, congrats on applying. Whereas like VMI, I would tell my buddy that goes to school here, who's a rat, and he'd just be like, let me know if you have any questions. Here's my phone number. Here's everything that I have. Here's the people that I know. I would talk to alumni that I'd never met before, and they'd reach out to me. And it was just very cool to see how close the community was before you were even in it. So it gives you something to be excited about and kind of just get ready for. It's really cool to see, get kind of a snapshot and preview of what it's going to be like once you're out, and see how many people you're going to be close with that you don't even have to meet, and you'll just have the same VMI shared suffering in common, and you're there.
Okay, thank you. Question about transfer credit. Does VMI accept any type of advanced credit or transfer credit? Colonel Whitmore, maybe you can take off on that one.
Yes, so VMI does accept both AP, IB, and dual enrollment courses. And so many of the courses that are sponsored by community colleges around the country in various states, of course, including Indiana, are eligible for transfer credit to come into VMI. Many many cadets will, or incoming cadets will take, say, English 101 or 102 during their senior year. And those do come in and mesh into your VMI schedule and give you completion for that freshman English composition. The same with both AP and IB courses. We have on our website the equivalency table for all of those courses, and you can see how it corresponds with the exam score that you would receive, and then ultimately the transfer credit that you would be awarded. So it is very valuable to have that. And what it does for a lot of cadets, it gives them, it means they're progressing in their degree, and it gives them some open blocks of time to put in both a double major or a minor. And I know, for example, Cadet Sassman was talking about, she was a national security minor. And so it gives you that opportunity to begin putting in those courses earlier in your cadetship because you already have your core courses out of the way. So it's a good opportunity.
Again, for the cadets, did have either of you participated in the study abroad honors program or undergraduate research?
I have not, but my roommate studied abroad and he never stops talking about it. He studied in Sevilla, Spain, and he loves it so much. It's gotten to the point where you just get jealous. So anytime he kind of talks about it, we kind of make a joke of like, you studied abroad, didn't you? Just because he loved it so much.
Yeah, I was going to say really quick, I received a ROTC Project Go scholarship last year to go to Taipei, Taiwan. So the International Study Abroad office here at VMI really helped me go through that process and be able to get that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to go due to COVID-19, but it was neat because VMI still worked with us so we could get the language credits over the summer. So we still had some cultural experiences too, like the Beijing Opera House Zoomed with us one time and taught us some dance moves and whatnot. So there's a lot of awesome opportunities to study abroad on VMI's dime and like national dime as well. There's opportunities out there.
Okay, and I think we have time for one last quick question. On the Sainsbury Scholarship, how many cadets are currently on the scholarship at VMI?
We generally have 7 to 8 cadets per class. And sometimes that just depends on the number that apply for a given year. Sometimes we'll have more. Sometimes we have had as many as 12 to almost 15. And in other years we've had fewer. And it really just comes down to how competitive they are, and ultimately what other goals and things they have to bring them to VMI. But the opportunity is there. It's a great financial opportunity. It's not attached to an ROTC detachment. So you can be any of the services, or you can choose maybe to not commission and head off to graduate school or something like that. So this year the application is open now. And as I mentioned, it'll be open until the 1st of February, and we'll make awards sometime in the latter part of March with notification by April 1. You'll see the application out there on our website. If you have questions, please reach out to me, and I'll let you know what the next step in the process will be. We've had some great graduates from Indiana that have gone on to do many things. And now that the scholarship's been in effect for 24 years, we've actually had some that have almost done some career projects and goals and things and have returned to live in Indiana. So it's very interesting. So, but if you have questions, reach out, and we look forward to seeing you apply.
And I believe my clock on the wall, oops, yeah, I believe my clock on the wall says, I guess our time's up. Is that right? We appreciate it and appreciate Mr. Sutherland and the cadets to be here with us. And so thanks very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to our panelists from the awesome institution, and we are wrapping up now. So just a final announcements here. Thank you again for joining us for Virtual College Exploration. As soon as this Zoom link does exit out, a quick survey will pop up. It's only 4 questions, so please provide your feedback. We'd be more than happy to have that. Again, remember to sign up for more sessions. You can do so on InACAC's website, and this session was recorded along with all of the others. So with that being said, that's all we have today. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great evening.